Alright, boys. I know everybody's been talking about the new Venthyr Covenant ability that just came into the game with the 9.0.5, so I wanted to make a quick video talking about it. Before I go into like all the combos and the overall guide for it, I do want to have a little discussion beforehand talking about the other Covenant abilities and where they stack up with Venthyr. And overall, I think Venthyr is probably the best.
This shit
Not a lot of people
good.
have tested Necrolord, so Necrolord could be sleeper OP. I know for a fact that the Bone Spike can actually crit you for 9k in the opener, so it's actually not bad. And I believe they have charges, so pretty much for every go, if you have the crit legendary active, you can always hit for like 9k, which is really good, right? A 9k opener crit is really nice, and it also has the bone or the shield, which is also very nice. And I know that you can kind of cheese it by using your BM trinket into a fleshcraft, which gives you a 20k shield. And like if you do that at the start of the arena match before the gates open, like right away, you only have like 20 seconds left on your BM trinket to be used when the actual match starts. So you could have like a 20k shield if you go Necrolord every arena match. And especially that gives us a lot of tankiness and everything. So overall, damage wise, which is probably the most important for Rogue right now because we need as much damage as we can possibly get. I would put Venthyr at the top, and then it's slightly greater than Necrolord, which is slightly greater than Night Fae. And I don't think that the Venthyr ability deserves to be nerfed. I don't think they're going to. I don't think it's like broken or anything like we thought it was going to be from PDR footage and whatnot. It's a very strong ability, and I would probably say if you're willing to grind the renown and everything, you can definitely go Venthyr right now, and you'll probably enjoy the extra damage you'll get in the opener. And it gives us more ways to pressure the enemy with another 1.5 minute cooldown. So if you're looking for more damage, you can definitely go Venthyr. There is counterplay to it, so the damage is spread out between you using your finisher ability. So as long as the enemy stops you in some fashion during the opener, it's not like it's a crazy upfront burst of damage. It does around as much as a Bone Spike would upfront, like a 9k hit. And then all the other abilities or other damage from the Venthyr ability is from you doing finishers and getting bonus damage, like a 5k, 4 to 5k extra damage every combo point finisher in the opener with the crit legendary. So yeah, that was just a quick little opening. If you want to stay Night Fae, you definitely can. I don't think Venthyr is like obscenely broken, and if you value that mobility, then all power to you. You can stay Night Fae. If you're looking for something that you can maybe try out for fun and be unique, Necrolord is a strong option as well. Does damage and has tankiness. And then if you want to be like the flavor of the month reroller, you can definitely go Venthyr if you want more damage. All right. So I'm going to test out the damage here on a player real quick so you can see the damage I can do. For reference, this guy is geared. He is 2800 RBGs. He's full PvP gear, so he ain't no slouch. And so the typical opener is going to be, you can go from stealth to cold blade. And I'm going to show you the overall damage if you pop every cooldown, including Shadow Blades. And this is going to be with the BM trinket, so no damage trinket for this go. This is typically what you would do in like threes or something, right? So you're going to do Shadow Blades, Cheap Shot, and then you're going to Symbols of Death, Shadow Dance, and then Flag into Shadow Strike Abyss, Mark for Death Abyss, and that should basically kill him. So you're going to see that right here. And boom, as you can see, the damage is pretty high. In that short window, it did around, what, almost 11k DPS, and my flag did around 14k damage. And if you continuously attack somebody, I'm going to let this guy hit me while I talk. So if you still have the flag buff while you're damaging them for 12 seconds. So outside the opener, if you want to keep doing damage during your Shadow Dance, you can, especially with Shadow Blades. You'll still have some nice damage in the opener. And that's his opener with Sepsis. But obviously if you pop everything, including like Sepsis, Night Fae can still do the damage, but Flag has the benefit of also being good outside of the Shadow Blades window, and you can still 100 to 0 somebody if you have the crit legendary active. And that's, I think, the biggest difference between having something like Sepsis and having Flag, is that Flag is more useful outside of Shadow Blades. More damage than Sepsis could ever do. So, yeah, so that's why I would probably roll Venthyr over Knife is primarily due to that Flag will actually have more opportunities to do damage, and I'll show you that right now. Let me test right here. And so this time I'm going to use normal cooldowns, but this time just with Flag, right? And as you can see, that's without Shadow Blades. I just 100 to 0 literally did the exact same DPS without Shadow Blades. That's what I mean. Like with Flag, like if you try to do that without Flag, I don't think you could even get close to that with Sepsis, right? You just lack that damage. The extra 15k, or not even 15k, don't even need it. The 13k does, and that one little cheap shot window is actually huge, right? And if you roll Venthyr, that's primarily why you would roll Venthyr, is in between your Shadow Blades goes, you have another opportunity to do damage. All right, I'm going to show you one more thing you can do, right? So typically you won't want to... Okay, I got interrupted here, so let's hope I don't die immediately. That was not Drew, it's another rogue fucker. So typically what you could do is you don't want to mark for death eviscerate, especially against people who won't die, like if they have walls. So what you'll do is mark for death kidney shot, and then you do like a shadow strike, eviscerate, cheap shot, shadow strike, eviscerate again. And so it would look a little something like this right here. Normal damage, mark for death kidney, and it still works damage wise. You won't get that eviscerate, but the important thing to note is that even if you kidney shot this finisher, the kidney shot will still Knife Wave burst is just better. Let's try no Shadow Blades with Sepsis. So the reasoning you would do that over, say, a what am I trying to say? Without a eviscerate, is you want to keep them CC'd, probably for your mage to keep doing damage without getting cucked. Right? So you'd want to, instead of mark for death eviscerate, mark for death kidney, and that kidney shot will proc the Flag damage, right? So that's why my Flag still did as much damage as it did before, even a little more, because the mark for death kidney still procs it. And so even if you kidney during the Flag window, you don't have to be worrying about the damage. It'll still damage. It's like a damage ability. It'll still do like 4 to 5k crit from Flag, from the kidney. So let's go ahead and watch his damage with Sepsis here. So he didn't, let's see, he didn't mark for death. I think he marked for death later. He's also using Badge. His damage was pretty good. So yeah, Sepsis didn't do as much damage DPS wise with Flag. So like a normal opener, if I did the exact same opener like I did earlier with just Flag, it did around, let's see, this is just the normal damage that I did earlier. It does around 11k. So even, as you can tell, you get around 4k more DPS with Flag in the opener, which could be the difference between killing somebody and not killing somebody, right? So Sepsis still does damage, and this guy also has better weapons and the PvE trinket, while I'm using worse weapons because I'm not 2400 yet. God damn it. And I'm using the BM trinket. So without better weapons and the badge, I'm still managing to do more DPS with Flag, right? 4k more DPS in the opener with Flag. So I think that just kind of proves my point that you do still have more damage, even without the proper setup. Like I don't have, I don't have the perfect setup in terms of gear, and I'm using BM trinket. So yeah, this is a good demonstration of why Venthyr does more damage than, say, Night Fae. So closing thoughts on all the Covenant changes that came in 9.0.5. I think at the end of the day, If you want to stick to Knife A, you can. I don't think you need to switch to Venthyr, especially because you lose out on Soul Shape, which is pretty much one of the most important abilities you can have at the moment. Not only that, you can also play Necrolord. The Covenant ability now can crit for 9k in an opener and also gives you the amazing secondary ability in Fleshcraft, which can give you up to a 20k shield at the beginning of an arena match. And so, honestly, Covenant-wise, I think it's a good time to kind of play whatever you want outside of Kyrian. Kyrian's kind of been left behind after they nerfed it into the ground at the beginning of the expansion. So, honestly, if you're a rogue player, feel free to play anything you want. I think right now I'm gonna stick with Venthyr just primarily for the damage. If you want to say if you value more tankiness at the expense of a little bit of damage, you can go Necrolord. Or if you want more mobility at the expense of damage, you can also go Night Fae. It's really up to you guys. So really just try to have fun and play whatever you want.